everyone, and welcome to the social science class. This is class 7th, chapter number 5 of Civics. Name of the chapter is Women Change the World, and it's a summary lecture as this chapter we have already completed in few lectures. So today we will recapitulate all those lectures that we have already covered. So let's see the topics that we will cover. Fewer job opportunities for women, they are in the society. Stereotype, learning for change, Ramabai, RASHSUNDARI, ROKEYA, SAKHAWAT, HUSSAIN. These three women who studied there in the adverse condition when they were not sending the girl child to the school. Then schooling and education today, and the last topic, women's movement. So these are the topics that we will recapitulate in today's lecture. So let's start with the first topic, few job opportunities. A lot of people feel that women are fit only for certain kind of jobs like nurse. This is the mindset, or you can say the stereotype in society, that the women they can do only few jobs and the other jobs they are not able to do. So the few jobs opportunities women have, they are not fit for technical jobs. The people, they think that the women, they are not fit for the technical jobs. They are fit for some jobs, as we talked, like nurse, and for the household work also. That looks that it is fixed with women only. In most families, women are told that after school they have to get married. This is the scenario in our societies basically. That nowadays it is changing, but if we talk about the few years back, the people they completely agreed with this phenomena, that the girl child after the school they have to get married. And even if you go back some years, in that particular time, even they were not sending the girl child to school. So if we talk about the jobs opportunities, the few job opportunities, the people they think that the women can do. And especially it is written there in the chapter that people think there in society that women are not fit for technical job. Now, discrimination. What does it mean? When we do not treat people equally, we are indulging in discrimination. When we do not treat any person or the group of people in society equal to others, it means we are doing discrimination to that particular person. Discrimination usually takes place when we treat someone differently or make a distinction. As we talked, when the discrimination that take place, when someone is not treating the people or the group of people equally to others, that is discrimination. As if you remember, in 6th standard we have covered one of the chapter in which we have done that Bhimrao Ambedkar, who belonged to the lower caste, and he faced the discrimination based on the caste there in the society, because he was not treated equally to the people of upper caste. So this is the discrimination. When we do not treat anyone equally to others, that is discrimination. Now another term, that is stereotype. When we believe that people belonging to particular group based on religion, wealth, language are bound to have certain fixed characteristics or can only do a certain type of work, we create a stereotype. As we can take example of this particular chapter. Here, as in starting, we talk that people have the certain thinking there in their mind that women, they are fit for some jobs only. So the people, they are thinking that women can do certain type of work only. So in that way they are creating the stereotype. When we make an image about someone in our mind, that particular person is like that only, that particular person can do this only, so that is the term we are creating the stereotype about that particular person. So when we believe that people belonging to a particular group based on religion, wealth, language, they bound to have certain fixed characteristics or can do only certain type of jobs. When we think like that, we are creating stereotype. Due to this stereotype, children face pressure from the world around them. Sometimes even boys. One of the example it is given in the chapter also. A boy who got very good mark there in the history, and the marks there in mathematics and science, they were less. So but their parents, they wanted that the child become engineer and doctor, but his interest was there in history. So at that time the boy, he was pressurized to study his that science and maths. So sometimes the children, they also face the pressure from the world in their surrounding. So the stereotype, sometimes the children face pressure there from the surrounding world. Now, effects of stereotype, especially on women. How stereotype it affects women? The stereotype affects women's right to equality, because people, they think that the women or the girls, they are not able to do the certain jobs, they are not able to go outside for the education. So that affects the right to equality of women. Women are called inferior to men because this thinking the men in society, they have, that women are inferior to men in society. Many girls are not given the same support that the boys get for technical education, because their thinking is that the girls, they are not meant for the technical jobs. They do not have the technical mind. So that's why they are not supported by the some of the people for this particular job or for this particular education. Girls are made to finish school and get married, that we have already discussed. So these stereotypes that people have, they affect the girl child there in the society in these ways. Next thing is example of breaking stereotype. In this chapter we have done one of the example of Laxmi Lakra, in which we discussed that how Laxmi Lakra she had broken the stereotype that women, they are not able to do the technical jobs, they do not have the technical mind. Laxmi Lakra, she was 27 years old, became engine driver, and she was very poor. Her parents were illiterate. Her parents were not literate, or they were not educated, and they were poor. But she worked hard and passed railway board exam in the first attempt only. The railway board exam she passed and became engine driver. They are in the technical field. So that was the stereotype breaking that we have done. Now learning for change. How the different women at that particular time, they set some examples in front of society and they made the changes there in society. If we talk about education, today going to school is an important for everyone. This is really important task. Everybody in the society wants that the children, they must attend the school and they must get the good schooling. In the past, very few people learnt reading and writing. Most children learnt the work their family and elders did. But in past, what was happening? The people, they did not focus on the education. They basically, most of the children, they were learning the profession or the work that their elders did. If a person is porter, then the children, they would be the porter, and if a person who is farmer, the children would be the farmers only. So they were adopting the work that their family or family members or elders were doing. In the past, this scenario was going on because the people in society, they were not much aware about the education. But in the 19th century, new ideas about learning and education appeared, but still there was a lot of opposition to educate girl child. The 19th century, in which the new ideas for education, they came there in the society, but then also the people, some of the people, they were not in favor of the girl education. But in that adverse condition, as I told you, few women, female, they set an example there in the society, that we will talk about the three of the example. Ramabai, 1858 to 1922. She did not attend the school but learnt to read and write. She did not go to school, then also she was able to read and write. She was given the title Pandita. She learnt from the parents only and got the title Pandita because she learnt Sanskrit language, and she was we speak about a person who is learned person, we speak about him Pandit. So that title was given to Ramabai Pandita. She was able to learn and write Sanskrit language. She set up a mission in Khetgaon near Pune in 1898 for widow and poor women. She gave the opportunity for widows or poor women to learn different skills, and so that by learning different skills they can be independent on their own. So they were taught variety of skill there and were encouraged to be independent. As we know that widow, they do not have any of the helping hand, or the poor women. So she set an example that she create that environment, that she taught different skills to those women, so that she made them independent. Next is RASHSUNDARI, 1800-1890. She was born in West Bengal. They are in a landlord family, and she wrote her autobiography in Bangla named Amar Jeeban at the age of 60. Amar Jeeban, basically they are in the autobiography. She wrote the experiences of her life in this autobiography Amar Jeeban at the age of 60. She started reading now the question arises, how she learnt to read and write. She started reading Chaitanya Bhagavat, and when she was not able to even understand the alphabets, but she read the Chaitanya Bhagavat. She used to read her son's alphabet and practice them with the book she read. Firstly, she was comparing the alphabets of the book with the book of her son's alphabet book, and then she was practicing the book reading. So in this way she learned to read and write. She learned reading and writing at a time when women were in bad condition. Definitely because people in society, they were not agree with this phenomena that they send the girl child to the school. The next example, ROKEYA SAKHAWAT HUSSAIN. In that particular time period, ROKEYA SAKHAWAT HUSSAIN belonged to a rich family. She knew how to read and write Urdu. That language she knew, but she wanted to learn Bangla and English also. But that in that period of time, the people, they did not want that the girl child learn English, because they were thinking that the English is not teaching good habits or good manners to the girl child. That's why they were not agree with that, the girl, that they learn the English language. But she learnt English and Bangla with the help of her elder brother and sister. So with the help of elder brother and sister, she learnt that English and Bangla also. Then she wrote a story titled Sultana's Dream in 1905. The story name that she wrote, ROKEYA SAKHAWAT HUSSAIN, Sultana's Dream in 1905 to practice her English skill. She dreamed for women education, and in 1910 she started a school for girls in Kolkata. That was again a big achievement at the time, that she started a school to encourage the girl education, and the school that is still continue there in Kolkata. She did that one about for the girl education only. So these three examples we have done, that the women of that time, how in adverse condition they studied, how they learnt learned how to read and write. Three examples we have done: Ramabai, RASHSUNDARI, ROKEYA SAKHAWAT HUSSAIN. Now question arises, why the learning of alphabet was important for all these three women? Because the alphabet learning is, you can say, the block building of literacy or for education. It is the main base for the education, and after learning they were able to write the stories, or they were able to teach the other girls also. So that's why it was important to learn the alphabet for these women. Schooling and education today. As we know, it is important for today's world. Both boys and girls attend school in large number today. If we see the data, still differences are there in the education of boys and girls. And if we see the data there in census, as I told you, that is the official counting of people, in which the number of people, the job, what the people are doing, or different data are collected by the government. So the survey is done through census. As I told you, this is official counting of the people. Now we will discuss about census also. An official count of the people who live in a country, including information about their age, jobs, schooling, etc. This in the census that is done there after every 10 years in India, like 2001, 2011, 2021, 1991, 1981. So after every 10 years the census is held there in India, in which the counting of the people along with different information about them that is done. So according to census, as we are talking about education now, so according to census 1961, 40% of boys and men were literate, were educated, and the percentage of literate women and girls was only 15%. Then if we talk about, we take example of 2001 census, it was increased by 76% and 54%. 76% for men or boy, and 54% for girls and women. And if we talk about according to 2011 census, this reached to the total literacy rate, if we talk about, that is 74% total, in which the complete population we talk about. If we talk about females, that is 65%. If we talk about males, that is 82%. So this is the census and the literacy rate that we talk about. They are at present, as the people in society, they are much aware about the education. Okay, the next is, it was noticed that girls from some special groups like scheduled caste and scheduled tribes leave the school at early age, means the schooling period that is really short. So what is this scheduled caste? Scheduled caste that is related to the lower caste, and scheduled tribe that is related to the tribal people, basically the people those live there in the forest, the groups those are living there in forest area. So that this is noticed that the people, the girl child from scheduled caste or scheduled tribe, they leave the school at early age. Girl of rural area are also not able to get the higher education. The reasons are there behind it. They do not leave the school on their own. Actually, they really do not want to leave the school, but some of the reasons are there due to which they leave the school. Like in rural areas, there are no facility for higher education. That is really true, because in some of the schools, even some of the villages, even the schools are not available. Schools are far off from home and no transport facilities available. This is one of the reasons, and due to that, the parents, they do not send their girl child to the school. Those are far off from their home. Parents also do not send a girl child to school. This is one of the reasons. This is the set of mind that they do not want to send their girl child to the school. Poor families are not able to send all children to school. They prefer boys to send to the school. Sometimes when the families, those are very poor, they do not have that much facilities to send all the children. At that situation, they prefer to send the boy child to the school and they skip the girl child. So these are the reasons for dropping out the schools for girls. Now, women's movement. The different movements were held by women to improve the condition of the women there in society. Women have individually or collectively struggled to bring change. This was called the women movement. When the changes were made individually or collectively there in the society by women, that was women movement. Different strategies have been used to spread awareness, fight discrimination, and seek justice. Different criteria they have used for bringing the awareness there in the society and to fight against the discrimination, for justice also. So let's discuss some of the movements. Campaigning, in which the different people, they join the campaigning and they raise their voice against the discrimination and violence. The best way has been to campaign against discrimination and violence. It led to enactment of a law in 2006. Due to campaigning in 2006, one of the law that came in exist, that was who face physical and mental violence in their homes. The law that was passed for women, basically, that was who were facing the problem there in the domestic area, means domestic harassment you can say, or domestic violence you can say. Raising awareness. An important part of the women movements work is to raise public awareness. And how this public awareness is raised? By doing different plays there in the streets, songs, public meetings. So this is second one, raising awareness, and awareness can be raised by different methods like plays, songs, public meetings. The next way is protesting. When a law or policy acts against women's interest, public rallies take place to draw attention. As protest means to oppose something. So when a law or policy that is not in our favor, so women in favor of women interest, so public rallies take place to draw the attention. Showing solidarity. Women's movement has also shown solidarity, a feeling of unity between people who have the same interest and goal, etc. Solidarity basically meaning is unity. When different groups they come, they unite each other and they oppose something that is not correct. So that's it for the lecture. Now it's done for homework. What did ROKEYA SAKHAWAT HUSSAIN do for other girls? The first question. Second, who was RASHSUNDARI Devi? What did she write in her autobiography? Mention any two stereotypes about what women can or cannot do. means you can take one example of can and one cannot do. What are the various means of raising awareness among the people? How did Laxmi Lakra break the stereotype that only men could be engine drivers? Which is the first known autobiography written by an Indian woman? How did ROKEYA SAKHAWAT HUSSAIN learn to read and write Bangla and English? When we question number 8, when we think a farmer, we only think of a man. Explain why. Why do we think a farmer is a man only? When question number 9, when is International Women's Day celebrated? And question 10, give a brief life sketch of Laxmi Lakra. So these are the questions that you will attempt. I hope that you have understood the chapter again. Thank you and have a nice day.